Told you Rossi Ralenkotter, one of the people who helped shape modern Las Vegas, died after a long fight with cancer.
In fact, he spent 45 years with the Convention and Visitors Authority. The marketing strategies that he oversaw were just wildly successful, but his departure from public life tarnished an otherwise sterling reputation.
Ralenkotter knew he had just a short time to live when he sat down with our chief investigator, George Knapp. George is here now with more.
You know, one of the reasons Rossi Ralenkotter sought a final interview is that his family wanted him to be remembered for the decades of work that he did to promote Las Vegas rather than for one particular incident. He made it clear to us he had no regrets.
You kind of say, hey, listen, you know, there's always tomorrow.
Rossi Ralenkotter finally ran out of tomorrows. For 16 years, he put a positive face on his battle with cancer. 5 times, doctors told him the end was near. 5 times, the cancer went into remission. Chemotherapy obliterated his hair, but 5 times, it grew back, each time in a different color.
The first time a doctor says to you, you have cancer, it takes you a couple of days to kind of assimilate all that and figure out, okay, what's going on. But I wasn't going to let it define me, or let it define who we are or who my family is or anything like that, and stayed positive from the beginning.
During his 40-plus years with the Convention Authority, Ralenkotter's team and principal ad agency R&R Partners fine-tuned the marketing of Las Vegas as a one-of-a-kind destination and set into motion explosive growth in visitors and trade shows, which fueled a wave of new mega resorts and game-changing attractions, including major sports franchises. In the last interview he ever gave, Ralenkotter hoped that people would remember him for the big picture.
You got to look at what was the total impact of this person, or what was the total impact of this organization, or whatever, over 45 years. And I'll stand up with mine against anything. And unfortunately, you know, it happened. You tried to control the messaging, you know, and went from there. But I'm not ashamed of anything I did.
The "it" that happened was a scandal that led to his departure. The seeds were planted earlier when Sheldon Adelson, one of the richest men in the world, staked out his position that the Convention Authority was unnecessary. At the time, Adelson owned the Venetian Hotel and the Sands Expo Center, a rival convention facility.
Sheldon always believed that, you know, his opinion was that the hotels market Las Vegas. Las Vegas sells itself. We don't need the convention center. And so that was his opinion, fine. But we worked with him all the time.
Ralenkotter says Adelson wanted the Convention Authority to buy his expo center. LVCVA said no. After Adelson purchased the Review-Journal, Nevada's largest newspaper, the LVCVA became the target of intense media scrutiny. Dozens of public records requests were filed by the RJ, and stories were published. Most fizzled, but one landed. It revealed that employees, including Ralenkotter, had accepted thousands of dollars worth of gift cards from airlines and had used them for personal travel. Ralenkotter says the authority had worked hard to woo a dozen more airlines to service Las Vegas, and in the process developed partnerships, even friendships. In decades past, comps, favors, and freebies were common in Las Vegas business circles.
So you work with the airline people. There were times from time to time you'd go to one of their lunches or whatever. There'd be a card for flights, you know, $100 card, $200 card. I probably should have looked into it a little bit more.
But it was more than freebies. It was revealed that key employees inside the authority had used public funds over a 5-year period to purchase tens of thousands of dollars worth of gift cards that were then used to pay for personal travel. That story blew up. Police began investigating, an internal audit was launched, and a grand jury convened. Ralenkotter reimbursed $17,000 for gift cards he had used, then he retired. A year later, in 2019, he and 2 others were charged with felony theft, 2 counts each. The felony counts were widely seen as overkill and were dropped. Ralenkotter pled to a misdemeanor and paid a $1,000 fine. He then went before the Ethics Commission and was hit with another larger fine. The commission noted there had been no other black marks in his decades of public service. As Ralenkotter neared the end of his life, he knew the story about the gift cards would be mentioned in news reports about his passing. He spoke with us, in part, because he hoped people would remember him for more than one incident. As for contrition, though,
but I'm not ashamed of anything I did. And I'm not ashamed of the success that this place has had, going from 23,000 rooms to 155,000 and 43 million visitors, and the things that we're enjoying today.
Anyone who knew him knows that Ralenkotter was a lifelong baseball fan, Cincinnati Reds, who was instrumental in Las Vegas getting a major league franchise. He held on long enough to be honored by the Las Vegas Aviators at one of their final games of the season. The team gave him the ultimate gift, handing out Rossi Ralenkotter bobbleheads to fans. The memorial service set for Saturday will be held at St. Viator's Catholic Church. Back